with you for a fantastic round 10 clash between the Central Queensland Capras and the Luxury Paints Ipswich Jets. Great to have you with us on Phoenix Radio, phoenix.com.au. Smith somehow right down the instant touchline, 12-4 the score with the first attacking opportunity the Capras had.
Hello and welcome to After the 80. I'm Ben Wilmot, and joining me as always is my co-host Anthony Bomber Breeze. Welcome back, Bomber.
No, good to be back again. Rugby league's starting to get into the semi-final, so the team's starting to put in a bit more effort.
That's it. It's starting to heat up. Looking forward to the finals action. Well, joining us on the panel this week, we have the CEO of the Ipswich Jets, Jason Cubit. Thanks for joining us again, Jason.
How you going? Thank you. Good to be here.
Not the result you'd wanted on the weekend, but still looking forward to the final few rounds of the season.
Yeah, our last game this weekend, which we'll get into. So hopefully the boys can get a win for all our fans out there this Saturday.
Excellent. And also joining us on the panel is Ipswich Rugby League Chairman, Jack Rhae.
How are you, Ben?
Not too bad, mate. Thanks for coming on board. Just in time for the finals as well. Plenty to talk about.
Yeah, plenty to talk about for sure.
Excellent. Well, we'll get into that in the show today. Now, Super Sunday in the IRL saw some pretty big scores and some even bigger upsets as the teams battled for a place in the finals. Brothers had a massive win, putting 60 points to 8 over the Bulldogs, and that was a bit of a disappointing result, Jack, just to see the Bulldogs finish on such a low.
Probably one of the highest scores put on by a club this year. So it was disappointing, the last fixture game, but I think West End knew their season was over, and probably the commitment wasn't there. And
the return of Jason Connors back to the field definitely helped Brothers click again.
Big help, big help.
They're going to be a danger in the finals. Well, looking to the other games for the weekend, the Fassifern Bombers had a 6-point win over North's Tigers at home, while a big upset out at Llewellyn Motors Field with the Swifts Bluebirds snatching a 2-point victory from the top of the table Eagles. Bomber, an unexpected loss from the minor premiers in the final round?
Yeah, I wasn't actually there. I was out at Fassifern there, but obviously you were there. We'll get the results through. It was a pretty close game there. It was a draw for much of the time there, but obviously Swifts got away with it towards the end, I believe. So.
Well, it was interesting because Norths needed a win and Swifts to lose. Swifts needed a win and Norths to lose. Well, actually, Swifts could have done it with a Norths win as long as they kept their point differential up. And with 20 minutes to go, we were hearing that Norths were up, Swifts and Goodna were tied, and it was still anyone's game. So that's an interesting finish to the season.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I know I was getting phone calls out there, and at that stage, I think it was 12 all out at our ground, and it was 18 all out at your ground there. So, and then Norths got in for a couple of tries out there and raced ahead and looked like they were going to win, but then Fassifern just come home over the top.
Yeah.
Oh, Kelly.
Well, they've done it plenty of times this season as well. And Jason, is it nerve-wracking when you're trying to find out results from other teams playing at the exact same time? You're on the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess this time of year everyone's trying to win, I suppose, because you want to force your way into those finals. And hopefully. I think we'll see a really good final series in the IRL. It's been a really open sort of competition. I think any one of those four teams could win it. I think out of sort of Fassifern, Norths Brothers, Swifts there as well. Anyone's game. I think going into the finals in the IRL.
That's it. Well, it's going to be exciting. If we take a look at the ladder after the final round, we see that Goodness still well and truly on top, crowned minor premiers, despite the weekend loss. And Brothers in second, Fassifern in third, and with the win, obviously, putting Swifts up into fourth position, and we have our final four. Is it impressive that it took to the final round to decide that final four, though, Jack?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a great competition all year. Really, it's surprising, but to get down to that, and.
It means
really
all
good.
the boys have to, across the whole competition, every game that they're playing, they have to know that they're going to be able to, they have to lift for each one.
Exactly.
You can't switch off.
Exactly.
Well, it's going to make for an interesting final series as well. Bomber, have you got a prediction of who's looking hot coming into the finals?
Well, obviously, before last week I would have said Goodna there, but obviously Brothers have got the roll on there. They seem to have the big-time players as well there, but like Jason said earlier, any one of them four teams on their day can win the competition, and that makes the competition healthy. So
how do you try and get them to step up to that? I guess if you know every team has the potential to win it, how do you motivate your team to know that they're the ones that are going to be able to take it out?
Well, you can obviously it's just another game there. Don't play it like it's a semi-final. Just play like it's a game during the year there, and the games during the year you're trying to win every game. So. Just make sure the players are switched on. The discipline's good. It's this time of the year that they go out there a few penalties. They begin having to go at the referee and all that there. Other players get into it, and that's where it can fall apart. I've seen it heaps of times.
Yep. Well, no coach wants to lose a player going into the finals, that's for sure. Well, if we take a quick look at some of the other IRL competitions, we see Brothers on top of the Botcher Realty Colts Cup, followed by the Norths Tigers, Goodna Eagles, Eastern Cobras and Valleys Dragons. And a good result for Brothers, snatching the minor premiership.
Yeah, well, the under-19s only had 5 teams this year, which was a little bit disappointing towards the end of the year there. A few players dropped off again from some of them other teams.
Yep.
But Brothers and North have been the top teams in this competition nearly all year. They're good towards the end of the year, have got a few players back from injury and all that there.
Yep.
So they're probably the dark horses, Goodna, I think.
Yep.
But I wouldn't write the Cobras off either. So.
Yep. Jason, the Goodna's had to use about 50 players so far in the A grade at the moment. Do you think now with some of their own players coming back into the A grade, those Colts players will be coming back into their side?
Yeah,
Probably at the right time?
Yeah, it has to help, I suppose, the depth of the club when you get some of those A graders back in, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's probably not too dissimilar to the Jets, really. I think we've used something like 42 players in the Intrust Cup this year. Yeah, obviously, Goodna will welcome back a few of those A-grade players, and that'll absolutely strengthen up their Colts team.
And they'll be better for the experience in the A-grade, won't they?
Yeah, and that's what it's about, I guess, is filtering those players up, I suppose, and giving them a bit of a taste of A-grade football, I suppose.
Yep.
So, obviously, Goodna have had a really good year all round.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, in the Whitehead Studios Reserve Grade Cup, the Goodna Eagles also sit at the top, followed by Brothers and the Cobras, each on 39 points. So another drawn result at the end of the season. It just can't get any closer, can it?
Another close one, Ben.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this Whitehead one's Goodna Brothers and East 2 weeks ago. They're all on the same amount of points.
Yep.
So the top 3 teams have been far and away the best there. And the Cobras, that was they lost last weekend.
Yep.
for the first time in about 2.5 months. So they were the form team before that.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
And obviously with their loss to Swifts, it made West End obviously just miss out by that 1 point.
Yeah. And a great final week for Swifts in the end, wasn't it? I mean, playing for their future, keep their season alive. To obviously, even if they'd gotten a loss, same as Norths, and had managed to keep their point differential to still sneak in the A grade, they still would have gotten in. But to make it on your own merit, that must change the mentality going in.
Well, they obviously would have went out there on the weekend knowing that they had to win both games. If they lost both games, there was a big possibility that it was over. The whole club was finished for the year. But now they've got A grade and reserve grade playing, so they're back for a shot at both.
Well, I saw the relief on Stephen O'Connell's face on the weekend. So definitely a relieving result for the club, and I'm sure they're looking forward to the finals with gusto at the moment. Well, it wasn't the best weekend for the Ipswich Jets in their finals campaign on the weekend. A closer look at their match against the Redcliffe Dolphins is coming up, plus a look at the new era in junior player development for the Ipswich Jets. That and more still to come here on After the 80. Welcome back to After the 80, and some big scores to come out of round 23 of the Intrust Super Cup over the weekend. North Devils had a 20-point win over the Mackay Cutters, while the Sunshine Coast Falcons had a ripper at home against the Central Queensland Capras, 52-14 the final score at Sunshine Coast Stadium, and East Tigers going down to Wynnum Manly Seagulls by 24 points. There was plenty of big scores there, but I think the interesting one was the Blackhawks' 4-point win over the PNG Hunters.
Yeah, well, obviously them two were battling for positions up there. Obviously they want to finish higher up there, but the Blackhawks hadn't been in the best of form the last few weeks, so for them to get a win there obviously puts them back in the marks. But obviously the interesting one is the Sunshine Coast there. I know they're associated with the Melbourne Storm, but they put it together. I think they're probably a danger out of them top 4.
Yep, and East Tigers going down to Wynnum as well. That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, particularly that scoreline. I think Wynnum to beat East by that margin. They're probably struggling to make the 6 now, East. I think they'll, depending on results and that sort of thing. So But yeah, the Sunny Coast game against the Capras, that's the one that's probably sunk the season for the Jets, depending on results over the next 2 weeks.
Well, it wasn't the Jets' weekend, unfortunately, with a 10-point loss to the top of the table, Redcliffe Dolphins at North Ipswich Reserve. And Jason, it was a tough game for the Jets boys, unfortunately missing a few players out, but a good chance to debut a couple of guys. Ono getting a double on debut, that was fantastic.
Ono Soliola got his debut. Here's Michael Purcell scoring a great individual chip and chase try as he does. We led 8-0 in the game actually, and I thought we really matched it with Redcliffe for large parts of the game. It was just sort of a couple of little drop balls here and there that sort of led to Redcliffe tries. So they scored 3 tries off the hooker. Basically that sort of face ball stuff, hitting the lead runner. Look, it was disappointing, but we've got another home game this weekend, and we'll see how we go. So,
well, it was a good match to watch, and unfortunately, I think the penalties put the score out a bit as well for Redcliffe. With Nichols, he's perfect with the boot, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't miss too many when he gets an opportunity. And this was Ono's first try in Intrust Super Cup. He's obviously his first game, and
he didn't have much room to move.
No, he didn't. He showed a lot of toe and. Thankfully, he gets the ball down here eventually. I was a bit worried about
very
what he was
casual
doing
for your first try.
Yeah,
yep,
absolutely. But look, you can see the score there. We certainly matched it with Redcliffe for large parts of the game, and this was just before half time.
Yep,
it's probably a bit unfortunate they get across the line there with a couple of minutes to go in the half. So.
Has that been a bit indicative of the season so far this year for the Jets, unfortunately? Matching it with, the competition leaders, but just fallen short at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we've shown we can match with anyone in this competition. So there was, a drop ball and a try straight off a drop ball. So
it's a bit of a falcon, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one was, but
that could have easily gone the other way, though. Yeah. And that would have made things very interesting.
Even the game we went up to PNG, up to Port Moresby, and we led that game at half-time against the PNG Hunters, which is a difficult thing to do up there, and then, 16 all late in the game, and it was just a penalty kick that cost us that game. So, there's lots of those sorts of things that have happened throughout the year that just haven't quite gone our way.
Yep. Well, taking a look at the Intrust Super Cup ladder, and we can see the Dolphins retain their top position on 36 points after their bye this week, and the Bears remain in second place with the Townsville Blackhawks move into third position after their win over the PNG Hunters on Saturday. And Jason, does this mean the Jets' finals hopes are over for the season?
Yeah, I think it does, Ben. We need a bit of a miracle from here. It's not impossible, but we need a couple of... Well, we need to win our 2 games for a start, and then we need... a couple of results to go our way. So, look, it's not completely impossible, but I think unfortunately we're probably going to finish one game outside the 6, one win outside the 6. So,
not a bad result for a whole new team, though.
Oh, look, we don't make excuses, but we've used something like 42 players in the Intrust, as I mentioned earlier. So, to use that many players, they reckon after you use about 30, you've got no chance of winning games. So. To have that many guys debut this year and still be competitive and not that far off making the 6 was a really good achievement for the club. So, look, hopefully we can win our last 2 games and have a really good finish to the season.
Yep, and still plenty of positive news with the BRL side as well. They're looking at finishing in third position.
Yeah, so our BRL side will be in the mix again, so to defend their premiership from last year as well. They'll finish probably third and we'll see how they go in their final series.
Excellent. Well, still on the Jets, and the club is committed to developing local junior talent in 2016 by bringing the under-18 representative side into the Jets fold. Jack, what does this mean for the junior rugby league players in Ipswich to be brought under the Jets banner?
Well, Ben, we've had this CCNMM system going since 2009, wasn't it? Yeah, 2009 we started it. With the Jets' involvement 2 years ago, they took it on and looked after it wholly and solely by the Jets, their coaches, and there was a rise in the standard of the kids that went through it. Last year 2016, we went back to the three bodies looking after it.
Yep.
Next year we're going with the Jets again. I just think the kids that have played and the young men that have played have always been known as Jets. So this way it'll be official.
Yep.
they'll see how the big boys train and what they've got to do to get need to do to get to where they want to go. And I just it's all positive in my book.
Yep. Bomber, does this mean a whole nother generation of chip and chasers?
Oh, well, I'm sure with the Walkers there won't be too many chip and chasers there. You don't see too many of the Jets doing it there. So, But like Jack said, gives them a pathway now from a little bit earlier. When you're starting to think about playing A-grade rugby league, when you're about 16, that's when it starts. So you might as well get the professionalism in the juniors when they're a little bit younger there, rather than wait till they're 18, and sometimes they're gone by then.
Yep.
So I think it's a very positive move. So
yeah, Jason, seems to make sense. Having the Jets brand behind them, obviously it's for a junior rugby league player here in Ipswich growing up, you're looking towards the Jets as a bit of a symbol of what you strive to be. So already being part of their systems makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're really excited to have the 18s program back under the Jets banner for season 2017. So it is a pathways competition, and as Jack and Bomber alluded to, the young guys get to train around our Intrust Super Cup squad and use our gym and all that sort of stuff, and they start to understand what it takes to be a player at that level of the game. It is a shortened competition, so it's finished by around about April.
But that gives them an opportunity to go back into the local competition, doesn't it?
Exactly right. So those guys will be dual registered with us, but also with an IRL club. They'll fold back into either the under-19s in the IRL competition or the A grade.
Yep.
Or if they're good enough, we'll take them up to our under-20s Colts as well. So there's absolutely pathways there for guys that want to further their rugby league in Ipswich.
Yeah, and Jack, that should only strengthen the local competition when you're getting these guys back into the comp.
Oh, for sure, Ben, for sure. I think it's been proved now. Right from 2009, where we had the kids that went through the system ended up playing A grade for North, and took them from the bottom of the ladder to being competitive. So it's just a bonus.
Excellent. Well, if we take a quick look at the NRL ladder in the lead up to the finals, and we see that all three Queensland teams are in the top 8. The Cowboys are best poised to hit the finals, sitting in 5th, with the Broncos in 6th and the Titans in 8th. How likely are we to see a repeat of last year's grand final with the Broncos and the Cowboys, Bomber?
I think on current form, I think there's no chance. But like I said, 6 weeks ago, or probably earlier than that, they were the two teams, and nobody was going to catch the Cowboys in there. But obviously, injury, suspension, origins changes things around. So obviously the Melbourne Storm leading the way there with the Cronulla Sharks here, but both them had a loss last weekend. So it just goes to prove on your day, any team can beat any team. But if you end up in the bottom 4, that just means you have to play every week. So which some teams prefer to play every week, just gives you a chance for obviously injuries or suspensions, that's all. But some teams like playing every week. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Well, the Melbourne Storm do remain on top of the ladder, but they had a shocker against the Canberra Raiders on Monday night, going down 22-8, the score in favour of the Raiders. Puts them third on the ladder, and Melbourne coach Craig Bellamy says that they are a genuine premiership contender. Bomber?
No. I'm not completely writing them off, but I just can't see them winning the premiership. They've got a lot of young players there and all that. There next year, like the same with the Panthers. I think them two teams next year are going to be a lot better for the run in the semi-finals there. But
we've got Ricky Stewart off the side actually, so we'll bring. well, I don't think he'd be too happy with that.
Well, he did have a little run at Parramatta, and I'm not just saying they can't because of Ricky there. I just don't think that they've got the players there this year to win the premiership, to hold up against the Melbourne Storm and all that there. But I'm not completely writing them off though.
Well, I think Joey Leilua is a one-man band at the moment on the wing. Him and Rapana are the biggest attacking weapons in the NRL at the moment. Do you think they're a team that seems to go under the radar, though? Jack, do you disagree with Bomber?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're a big threat. Just the way they're playing. And I think with the Cowboys and the Storm, I think coaches have worked out their game plan now, and they're playing to their weaknesses. And I think they're just getting on top. But definitely the Raiders are a chance. I wouldn't say they'd win it, but a real big show.
Jason, what do you reckon? Raiders, yes or no?
No. But having said that, it's a very open competition this year. I mean, I think while the Storm have been the form side of the comp, I think the Raiders showed on Monday night. I watched that game. how to take them on. They really took them on in the middle, and I think they sort of showed some other sides the way to do it. So, but I just don't. I'm with Bomber. I don't see Canberra being there at the end of the season. But I do think that the team this year that wins the comp can do that from outside the top 4. I don't think the top 4 this year is as important as it has been in past years. And I think that just about any team that makes that top 8 could go on and win the comp.
Well, as a Cowboys and a Broncos fan, I'm hoping you're right with that prediction there about the outside the top 4. Well, up next we'll preview this weekend's Intrust Super Cup matches and take a look at the Ipswich Rugby League finals here on After the 80. Welcome back to After the 80, and only a few weeks left until the finals in the Intrust Super Cup. With the teams fighting it out to make the cut, the Jets are at home again on Saturday against the Tweed Head Seagulls. And Jason, how are the boys preparing for this match, the last home game of the season?
Yeah, last home game of the season, and Old Boys Day as well. So it's always a big day there with Old Boys Day, and the guys will be ready. We played Tweed Heads at North Ipswich already this year. We had to switch the game.
Didn't really have a crowd there for that one.
No, didn't have a crowd there, but they come up again, and hopefully we can get over the top of them this time.
Excellent. Well, the ladder leaders, the Redcliffe Dolphins, take on the Central Queensland Capras in Gladstone. And Bomber, given the Capras' form this season and Redcliffe's form last week, do you think this will be an easy win for the Dolphins?
Oh, I think the Dolphins now are starting to show their authority towards the end of the season. They've been around the top 2 or 3 or on top of the ladder for most of the season there. So they've been probably the most consistent team, and I think they'll win quite easy again.
And Nichols, you reckon he'll finish at leading point scorer for the Intrust Super Cup?
No.
It's between him and Fogarty, I believe.
Yeah, I'll be going for Jamal Fogarty. Only because he's now signed a contract with the Parramatta Eels, so it's good for him now to move up to the next step.
Well, he's already got his reward, so maybe he won't have as much to play for now. Well, on Sunday, the Burleigh Bears take on East Tigers at Suzuki Stadium, and the Bears no doubt hoping to gain back their top spot. Jack, what do you reckon of the Burleigh chances as well?
Yeah, I think Burleigh, they'll come good.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're a big pack.
They are. I think they'll finish the season off hard.
Yep. You think they'll give the Dolphins a good run?
Yeah. Yep. On what I seen last week, I mean, with the Jets and the Dolphins, Dolphins might have won, but it was both sides were in it for the 80 minutes, and it was just probably like Jason said, drop ball and mistakes that cost us. So, if Redcliffe, I think they'd have to improve a little bit in what they played last week to get over the top. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, in the Ipswich Rugby League, we're into the finals and only 1 week away before the series gets underway. Bomber, how's everything shaping up? All the volunteers are ready and waiting to go?
Yeah, well, obviously we've got this weekend off. Friday night's our presentation night there. Jack puts on his suit for the one time for the year there, so does his hair up and all that there. And obviously we reward our coach of the year and all our players of the year and all that. And then I'm sure next week there they ramp it back up again, coming into the semi-finals with 3 versus 4 on the Saturday and then 1 versus 2 on the Sunday. So
excellent. Well, make sure you're looking good, Jack, because we'll have the cameras out there on Friday night. We'll be chasing down the winners of all of our IRL awards for the season. And Jason, you're looking forward to the finals of the Intrust as well?
Yeah, I think it's a very open comp. So we've talked about Burleigh and Redcliffe, but it wouldn't surprise if someone like the PNG Hunters,
the Blackhawks,
and the Blackhawks as well. You throw them into the mix. So look, I think any one of those 4 teams will be taking out the competition. So
excellent.
We'll see how it all pans out over the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Well, this is the crunch time, and what the results that happen over the next month in all 3 competitions, the NRL, IRL and QRL, are going to be very interesting. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Thanks to Jack, Jason and Bomber for joining the panel. As always, you can find us on Facebook for more rugby league news and exclusive clips. Until next time, I'm Ben Wilmot. Good night.